call the meeting to order. If everyone will stand and join me in the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have one last minute add-on. It's a resolution to advertise for the lawn mowing contract. Public forum regarding agenda items.
You need to add this on to.
Oh, that wasn't it. Okay. We have a resolution also. Sorry. Resolution for proposed zoning, local law and zoning map amendment for 11697 Sanderson Road. It's a resolution to approve and introduce a local law and schedule a public hearing for 11697 Sanderson Road. All right, public forum for agenda items only. No one? Okay. Next is old business. John, I haven't forgot about the ARPA stuff. I just haven't gotten to it yet. It'll go up on the website. That's that. Okay, that's. Am I forgetting anything on old business? Did you know? No. Jeff? Ed? Okay. Start with the highway report. These are the questions I sent you, and then I just told John about that. So, okay, yeah.
Shut off. No problem. Good evening. It's been a busy month. Starting out with inventory, which is completed. Signed and delivered snow and ice contract to New York State DOT. With the county's help, we cut many trees on Fletcher, Shelby Basin Cemetery, East Shelby, and Hemlock Ridge. The new loader had arrived, got fenders installed and a coat of wax on it. Had a couple of wind episodes that were responded to and helped Shelby Fire clean up. Had 10 overtime call-outs plus regular day plowing. Have received 760 ton of salt to replace. On January 20th, Jeff's Jobs finished installation of the security wall in the clerk's office. Good job, Jeff and JC. I think it came out very well. Did water reads and rereads, fixed some mailboxes, have been out filling potholes and repairing shoulders, as weather has been very cooperative. Had some road sign repairs. If we've missed any, please contact me. We were able to repair a leaky valve on West Ave Extension with the help of the village. Thank you, Ben. Responded to flooding January 26 at West Ave and 31A. I would like to say I was disappointed by the public's actions while we were trying to clear the DIs by not slowing down passing through the work zone, causing water, waves, and spray to be washed over my men. Please be more careful in these situations for safety's sake. We continue servicing equipment. Picking up dead deer continues. The men have been out pumping and cleaning multiple water vaults. I want to say thank you to all that have responded to our request on water pipes coming into your house, either by a phone call, text, or email. It really helps us out to comply with the state mandate on this. Please keep responding. Then, as I do usually to end my report, the never-ending stacking of e-waste. But not tonight. Tonight I want to say that it's been a month since the last meeting, when you tabled my procurement request for funding for a new trailer. As some had questions on the topic, I've waited for a month for anyone to call or stop by. No one has reached out to discuss this with me. So I assume tonight you will take this request off the table and vote it up or down, as no more discussion is needed. The money is in the budget, approved by you. Your job is to ask questions you may have and approve funding for funds that are available, but it's not your place to spec it. There won't be any problem having discussion on the topic in the future, but you need to vote on this tonight so we can move forward. Thank you.
There is no assessor report tonight. Julie wanted me to make sure that you knew you filed your extensions. No, go ahead. I paraphrased it.
The office has been reviewing and receiving the exemptions renewals that were sent out the 1st of January. All exemptions, new or renewals, need to be returned to her office by March 1st.
All right. Planning board.
At our meeting, I found out there was just me and one other member that did the 2-hour webinar training last month. We got the certificates, and I handed them over to Miranda for the file. The next thing we worked on was that project on Sanderson Road, the old lap building, that you want to rezone, or we would like to see it rezoned from ag residential to general business. As right now, it's up for sale, and it's listed as an industrial property. And it's not industrial really, it's ag residential. So our recommendation is to you as the town board to have it rezoned to general business. And the last thing we worked on was we had a preliminary discussion on a sign proposal that will be going up on the corner of Salt Works Road and Maple Ridge. The applicant tried to contact the owner, and it was the wrong owner. I went down to the assessor, got the right owner, and gave it to Dan, and Dan was going to refer it to the applicant on who to get hold of to put the sign up. That's it.
Kirk? Don't leave, I'm sure we'll have more questions when we do the resolution.
Code enforcement?
First of all, I want to thank everybody in the town of Shelby, the town employees, the town board, all the planning board, zoning board, the court, everybody here in the town of Shelby. I want to thank you for your condolences, your cards, your gifts, your prayers in regards to the loss of my daughter. My wife and myself and my granddaughter, thank you ever so much, and your kindness expressed to me at this time is appreciated more than you will ever know. Thank you so much. January 29th, 30th, and 31st, I attended the Department of State Code Enforcement 24 hours of training in Buffalo, Williamsville, and I remain certified by the Department of State. It's been slow in regards to building permits. I've issued one building permit in January, along with a variance that was attached with it. But I have been busy with violations. I issued 14 violations, notice of apparent violation, order to remedy. These included mostly unlicensed vehicles. There's some with exterior property areas where were not kept in a clean, safe, and sanitary condition. One was for operating a junkyard without a special use permit. A couple have responded to me. It's early on. Most have not. I have one coming into court with an appearance ticket next Tuesday. And finally, I'll be going on vacation in March for a few weeks. Are there any questions? I have about a third of it done. You really have to, you got to go down the road and drive slow and take a look, so.
Yeah, do we have any parameters, what we're looking for? I mean, I know you mentioned, unlicensed vehicles, like, I don't know, any other stuff that's not being used, or trailers, or house trailers, or whatever?
There are different parameters, I suppose. Basically, what I'm looking now for is unlicensed vehicles and what I call exterior property areas, properties that are not kept as what the property maintenance code would say in a clean, safe, and sanitary condition. It's self-explanatory, a lot of junk laying around. I shared with somebody earlier, I enjoy working with people. I like to, for lack of better words, make a deal. I'll give anybody whatever time they need to clean their property. And so I feel that I'm accommodating in that regard. When I would drive down the road and I see a vehicle that's outside the road and it might have a for sale sign on it and it's unlicensed, I won't send you a violation letter for that. I've had some on trailers. I know they're going to go to Dunn's or the junkyard and be sold for scrap. I don't violate you for that, but it's the obvious that I'm going after. Did that answer your question, Ed? Okay. Also, I have this application for the board.
All right, resolutions. Resolution to approve the meeting minutes of December 12th, 2023. I'm sorry, that's a little late. Is there a motion?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution to approve year-end meeting minutes December 28th, 2023. Is there a motion?
I move.
And a second?
A second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Resolution to approve the organizational meeting minutes, January 9th, 2024. Is there a motion?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Resolution to approve the meeting minutes, January 9th. Is there a motion?
I move.
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Resolution to approve the special meeting, January 16th. That was a vote on the union contract.
I make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution to approve the town clerk report for January.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? That's carried. There's, the next three resolutions are for the supervisor's report for November, December, and January. We're working with Williamson and the accountant to close 2023. We can't do November and December till we close that out. And January can't be done. The 2024 budget is not open till Williamson closes 2023 with the accountant. So those should be done, they will be done for the next meeting. Next resolution, approve to pay claims against the town. Is there a motion?
I make a motion.
So hold on that. Yes, questions?
So I have some questions.
I think there needs to be a motion in a second, and a
Okay.
discussion.
Sorry.
Linda.
Yep.
No, this was on the last one.
Oh,
You're
no,
talking
No,
about
no, I'm
talking
sorry. Invoices, sorry.
invoices. Okay. All right, so the resolution to approve to pay claims against the town. Jeff, you made a motion?
Yep.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there discussion?
Couple questions. Who is Joe Harbath?
Joe Harbath is,
There was two claims in there for him.
who is? Is that the accountant? No. Who is it from, do you know?
I just, and I'm
That's-
sorry, we just
that's
finished
the name.
literally before we walked into the meeting, because I don't know, I just wrote down who is Joe.
That's the name that was on the
The claim.
claim.
So that was a water claim, had to be reimbursed?
There's a Verizon Connect bill, is that for just the cell phones, like town cell phones?
Is that the GPS tracking system? What was the guy's name, Lynn? Joe what?
Joe Harbath? Harbath, Horvath. Okay, so I didn't see, I reviewed January last week, and, oh, sorry. I reviewed January invoices last week, and then we did February's today. I didn't see a cell phone bill. I didn't see a insurance bill or a health insurance bill. Are those? But are they not, they're not reviewed by the board? So, when is the insurance policy renew?
It renews at the end of the year. So every December it renews into January.
And that's liability insurance.
Health insurance or liability
Oh, I
insurance?
want both, but I'll start with liability.
Liability is April,
Okay, and health insurance? not
December.
for-
It
not
ends in
for-
December and starts in January.
Okay, and that's for town employees, not the MEOs?
It's both.
Okay.
We have to go by the MEO contract to do the health insurance.
And is it the same health insurance policy then for town employees that are not in the union?
Yes,
Okay. And then, when was the last time the insurance,
every year.
liability insurance is gone out to bid?
We just did it 2 years ago, I think it was, which we got the lower rate through Tompkins.
Okay.
And Tompkins actually does where they'll outsource it to see who does the best one. And that's how we ended up with NYMAR, which most towns have because it's a municipality insurance.
Okay. And then the Verizon, the cell phone for the town cell phones that,
It's Dan and just Dan and Dale that have cell phones.
okay. And that bill is not,
It's been the same bill every year, so it's just they have a contract with us, so it's just the same amount each month. It doesn't change. So it's $110 a month.
okay. And then there was a snow blower. Is that for,
A snow blower repair.
no, it looks like a purchase of a snow blower.
I thought it was a
might have been
repair.
Dale.
Purchase of a snow blower.
That was purchased because we were cleaning up in the back. So when we do the front of the building and the sidewalk, we bought a snow blower to have to make it easier on the MEOs.
Okay. So you're saying like the sidewalk that goes between this parking lot and,
Right.
That runs
Instead
in
of
front of the
shoveling it by
building.
hand, I purchased a snow blower to ease the,
I'm not arguing why you did it, I'm just trying to understand
well,
where
I
it's
mean, a
used
snow
for.
blower's simple purpose is to blow snow, so that's why we
I
bought it,
understand
to
what a
blow
snow blower's
snow.
for, I'm just trying to see where you're using it, that's what I don't,
Here at the building,
in the front?
in the front, in the back, wherever it's needed.
Okay. One other thing, no, I don't need you to get up, I just have a statement. So several times I see a claim that looks like it might be, one invoice is split between two separate claim forms. Would it be possible to put the invoice with the other claim forms so that there's backup with it? Because they're not, sometimes it's hard to know where the backup is, because it's just a claim form with no invoice or bill behind it. It just makes it a little easier for those of us that don't see this on a day-to-day basis. We're not, thank you. That's it for me. Do you have any,
Any questions, Ed?
No.
Jeff?
oh, wait a minute, sorry, one other one. There's an invoice, what did we, I think at the last meeting, under the organizational meeting, it said that we were paying the highway deputy 500? So 2 years together. Okay.
Also, I see the invoice, there's a sunrise door repair for $3,400. Was there overhead door that was damaged, or?
Back in the summer, there was an MVA where a car went around and hit the door. So we filed it with a claim, we got it paid, then we had to order the pieces and the parts. It was fine the way it was, and then Sunrise came when they had time once the parts arrived. So there was no charge to the town, it was actually paid by the insurance.
That was the accident that lady had? When
Yes.
she got out of her car and it
Yep.
took off by itself?
Yep.
Okay. It circled right around and hit the door. All right, anything else, Ed?
No, I'm good.
Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Oh, sorry, Jeff. It's carried. Okay, we have a resolution to reapprove the union contract as written with no substantial changes. The spelling and grammar errors were corrected before it was reprinted. The lawyer said I had to redo it. Can I get a motion on that?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Oh, is there any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Resolution to advertise for the lawn mowing contract. Can I get a motion?
So move.
A second?
Second.
Any discussion? Actually, we're a little late on this. Darlene and I just looked it up. We should have done this already, but we still have time. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. All right, resolution of the town board of the town of Shelby, proposed zoning, local law, and zoning map amendment. Whereas pursuant to municipal home rule law, section 20, subsection 4, board member Scott Wengowitz has introduced for consideration local law number 1 of 2024, entitled A Local Law Amending Certain Provisions of the Town of Shelby Zoning, Local Law, and Zoning Map, the proposed local law. And whereas the purpose of the proposed local law is to amend the zoning map of the town of Shelby, Orleans County, New York, the zoning map, to revise the classification of 11697 Sanderson Road, identified as tax map number 91-1-16, from its current classification of agricultural residential, AR, to general business, GB district. And whereas the town board desires to comply with the requirements of the State Environmental Quality Review Act, the seeker, and its implementing regulations set forth at 6 NYCRR Part 617 and Section 239 of the General Municipal Law with respect to this proposed amendment to the zoning map. And whereas the town desires to comply with the requirements of New York State town law and shall schedule a public hearing to be held to allow public comment to comment on the proposed law. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the town board hereby declares its intent to serve as lead agency for purposes of a coordinated review under seeker of the proposed local law, and be it further resolved that the town board hereby preliminary classifies the proposed local law as an unlisted action under seeker, and the town board hereby directs the town clerk to send part 1 of the short environmental assessment form and the proposed local law to all interested agencies to request their comments thereon. And be it further resolved that the town clerk shall refer the proposed local law to the Orleans County Planning Board for its review pursuant to General Municipal Law Section 239. And be it further resolved that the town clerk shall refer the proposed local law to the Town of Shelby Planning Board for its review and report thereon pursuant to section 112C of the town zoning law. And be it further resolved that the town board shall hold a public hearing to receive comments about the proposed amendment on what's a good day for you guys?
You can do it before the next board meeting if you want.
Okay, next board meeting is
There's no rush, right?
No,
okay.
it have to be the county
Right,
this
because you
Thursday
could,
for this month.
okay.
So if you want to clear it off to
March 12th.
April, as long as it gets to the county at the third Thursday, the third Thursday of March. And then we would recommend that you have a public hearing after that, which would be your, in April.
Also, the county needs, as you well know, the county needs a formal written resolution before they will entertain that.
A formal resolution stating that everybody agrees that it gets sent out to the county.
So saying in this that we're sending it off to the county is acceptable to them?
Yes, you just need a resolution.
Okay. Okay.
So March 12th is good?
No, April.
April.
Oh, you want to do it April 12th, okay. It's April what? April 9th, okay. April 9th at 6 p.m.? Be it further resolved that the town board shall hold a public hearing to receive comments about the proposed amendment on April 9th, 2024 at 6 p.m. And be it further resolved that the town clerk shall cause notice of such public hearing to be published in the official town newspaper in accordance with all legal requirements. No, I make a motion. Can I have, is there a motion?
Make a motion. Accept.
Is there a second? Okay, we're open for discussion. If you guys have any questions for Greg or Dan? So right now, this is a dead property. Nothing can be done with it.
It's only ag residential, yes, there are things.
Microphone, please.
It is zoned ag residential. There are permitted uses in ag residential along with permitted uses that require special use permit, but however, they are limited. You could have a farm market there. You could have an agricultural processing and distribution facility. But it is a agricultural district and it is zoned ag residential. Why that remained at the changing of the zoning in 2003 is a mystery. As you all know, and everybody in this room knows, it's lived in Shelby for a number of years. That was Lap Express. It goes back 50 years. There's really no principal dwelling on that property. All there is a truck terminal. And so Kirk and I thought we'd be proactive. We thought we'd try to get this rezoned to general business, which would allow more permitted uses in the line of general business. Realtors like to toss around the word industrial, and they do that for sales' sake, but it's not an industrial district. A commercial, that's another word they like to toss around. It's a commercial district. It's not. It's a ag residential. It's zoned ag residential, and what we're asking is it be changed to general business, which again would allow more permitted uses. Are there any questions?
Say we we zone this to business, and then some farmer comes in and buys it, and we'd have to rezone it back to ag, wouldn't we, for a private business?
No, not at all.
Would the taxes be affected, being a zone?
I can't answer that. I can't answer that. I don't. I don't even want to go down that road. I don't know honestly.
Hey.
just an FYI, agriculture is permitted in a general, agricultural use is permitted in a general business district. So you can, and I think in all the zoning districts in the town of Shelby, you can still do agriculture. You can still plant corn, you know. The only thing that's not permitted in an industrial district is dwellings, 1 and 2 family dwellings.
Dude, you probably have to get a, not an easement, but, you wouldn't have to have it rezoned, but you'd have to get it, I can't think about what I'm trying to say here. I'll ask it later if I think about
Okay.
it, yeah.
All right. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, no further discussion. We'll do a roll call vote. All in favor of passing this resolution and forwarding it to the county for their review? Ed?
Yes.
Linda? Mr. Schiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Seitz is out, and I vote yes. So the resolution carries. Okay. Is there a motion to reopen the resolution to purchase a new trailer as it was tabled at the last board meeting?
Motion.
Is there a second? I'll second the motion. Okay, discussion. Okay.
So I haven't come to you yet, Dale, because I've been trying to do some research on my own. So if the trailer, if I understand the class licenses correctly, the trailer plus the weight of the truck determines what class license somebody has to have to drive that. How many, are all the MEOs able to drive that combination?
Not all of them.
Okay. How many?
Myself and one.
So what happens then if you're not available and the other person isn't? Like,
The chances are very slim, I suppose, at that point in time that we would not be able to move it if we went to that classification. We would probably, once we get the appropriation and find the trailer and purchase it, then we go to the next step and get everybody licensed as needed.
okay, so that's.
Well, yes. Yes, I would definitely.
Do you have a problem answering my questions? I mean, I'm
Well,
just trying to
it's-
get
it's-
educated.
Yes, yes, I know we have to get licenses if it gets to the point where that vehicle requires it, yes.
Akin to Genesee Community College Adult Education.
Yes.
They have a special program
Mhm.
where they'll do
But
it.
it's very difficult to have people leave during the day to go to school when we're in, the threat of snow periodically. It'll have to be something done in the spring.
Okay. All right.
I'm just concerned about voting after the last meeting, and there was some discussion about tabling it.
Okay.
Do you want to do that with a missing board member?
Well, if we
And that missing board member was involved in that conversation?
Well, what, Jeff? Have an opinion?
I don't want to wait another month.
Dale's waited long enough. He's explained it to us. a million times. I'm ready to vote yes.
Okay, is there any further, I understand what you're saying, Linda. If we put it off another month, that's gonna affect these guys, right? I mean, tell me what you're thinking.
I'm just thinking that there was some reservation that came out of two people, and one of those people is not here. And is it fair to vote if he might have had a concern? That's all I'm asking.
Well, I know what his concern was. His concern was having a big enough trailer to do. He spoke to me about it.
Well, do we know that's been resolved?
We can, well, if you'd like, we can table it tonight, and I can call a meeting in a week. We can meet again in a week if you want. Call a special meeting for this resolution. I don't want to make the highway department wait any
I agree, but I'm just saying that it,
you good with that, Eddie? Calling another meeting?
Yeah, that's fine.
Linda, you good with that?
yep.
Jeff? What is today? Today is, I have to give 2 days notice for a special meeting. And I understand what you're saying, giving Steve a chance to vote. Today is February 13th.
We have a final specs on what you're looking for? I mean, I've been sent multiple specs, but I don't know which one what you're
There's
actually
two trailers that I have looked at, two trailers that I've told you about. One's 25,000 pound dual axle electric brake pintle hook with ramps on it. And the other one is a 17,000 pound tilt bed that is a ball hitch, electric brakes. Either one would do fine. Each one has its flaws, each one has its advantages. The money I'm asking for more than exceeds the value of the $11,827 is the one. And I asked for $12,500 just in case that there is a rate increase between now and final approval.
Do you have a preference of one of those over the other?
I do.
Can you tell us which one?
I guess it depends on which.
Could you give?
The 17,000 pound is my preference.
Okay, could you send us could you send us the quote or spec sheet or whatever you have on the one that you're looking at?
Yeah, not a problem.
Jeff, you want to vote? Linda and Ed, you want to put it off? Right? Am I correct in that?
Yeah.
Okay. When do you want to meet? I'm going to schedule a meeting for this week. Give you 2 days notice. How's that?
Whenever Steve's available.
I'll notify you guys in the morning. I'll call him tonight and find out. His wife just got out of surgery this afternoon, so. All right, then all right, we're gonna table this. Can I get a motion to table this for a public hearing in as soon as possible? Second?
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, what time of day will we be doing this? Probably in the evening be better.
Yeah, we can do it.
Same
in the
time,
evening.
7 o'clock.
Yeah, 5 to 7, someplace around there. Whatever's available for
Right.
Steve. He's providing the health care for his wife, so I'm willing to work around his schedule for this.
Right.
All in favor? Aye. Jeff? And nays? One no. Motion's carried. Postpone it. Aye, yes. 3 yeses and 1 no. We'll get that scheduled this week, Dale. We'll get it going. I know it's important, but I agree. Give them a chance to vote. Board comments. I'll open up for board comments. Ed? Linda?
Yeah. I would like to request that we get a copy of the MRB engineering report regarding the water study that was done, I believe, back in 2019. With everything happening with the Royalton Water Project, I think that I would hope we would all agree that it would be hard to make a decision on that without seeing a report that, or a study that was done. And I understand we don't have a copy here, so I'd like to make a motion to contact MRB and get a copy of the report or reports.
I'm still searching through 19, 20, and 21 looking for it.
Okay, if we don't though, I don't want to wait till another board meeting, can we vote that if we don't have a copy, that we can request another copy from MRB?
Okay, so you made a motion.
Yes.
Is there a second on the motion?
I'll second.
Okay, discussion? Do you have any questions, Jeff, on that? Okay. No further discussion?
Yeah, I just want to say that the town taxpayers paid upwards to $19,000 for this, so I think it's a good idea that we find out exactly what the what is said, and so we can make an educated decision on what we're doing. Thank you.
I agree. Okay, all in favor of...
You just voted, right?
No,
Did you vote?
we just did the
We need to do
discussion.
to do the vote.
Yeah. All in favor of contacting MRB if, in the result that I can't find a report in the files? All in favor? Yes? Aye?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. So, board comments. Jeff, you have any comments? Okay. You went already, right, Linda? Okay. John, I answered you about ARPA. That'll be up. Questions I received this week. What has happened in regards to the Town of Royalton Water Project? Town of Shelby, Town of Royalton, Niagara Water Authority are working on a water contract at this time. Second question, are any Town of Shelby residents receiving water from Royalton at this time? The Town of Shelby and the Town of Royalton are conducting pressure tests on the supply lines. Has anyone reviewed the previous engineering reports done by the previous supervisor? And as I just told Linda, I'm in the process of searching that through the file cabinets in the back room. If we don't find it, we just voted to get a copy from them. You had previously said you were in talks with the Village of Medina, adjusting the water rates. Where are we on this? Town of Shelby and the Village of Medina are discussing the water rates at this time, and the talks are ongoing. We have another meeting. When's the next meeting, Jeff? Yeah, February 20th, we have another meeting. Do the balloons show the height of the entire turbine, or do they show its base, not including its actual blades? Does it include the pedestal it will sit atop? From what I was told, the balloons were at the height of the top of the blades. Where they are, over there. Supposedly the tops of the blades, Linda. When does Borrego plan to provide the computer-generated display based on the pictures taken today from the balloons? I have no information if they even took pictures or if they will be providing those pictures. I would expect that they took pictures. The town requested that those balloons to go up so everyone could see what the height of the windmills were going to be. When will they present that to the public? I have no information on that. I would think that's gonna be once the town starts up the process again with the windmill meetings.
Yeah, I've got a question regarding the pressure test on the supply lines. Is that at the west end of the town, bordering Royalton, or is that all the way through the whole town?
That's that, how's that, Dale, you wanna answer that? I know our connection's at Freeman Road.
We have come down as far as Shelby Basin, and then we opened it up and took it to 63 to check and then shut it back off. And to Ryan, almost to 63 and shut it back off to test. And then up to West Shelby, just to see, you know, where it's gonna go and what the pressures might be.
As this was going on then, there was no pumps assisting from the village, or they were all disconnected? The only source of pressure you had is from Royalton, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
How do I want to say this? People using the water, once the lines are on and people start using the water, that must somehow reduce some of the pressure?
No.
No?
Everybody's pressure regulator valve in their house is anywhere from 40 to 45 pounds, and we are pushing, coming into the town at 110.
So there's no concern, I guess?
No. No, there's no concern of anybody's pressure being deleted.
I'm more worried about, like, if you're testing here, what about, like, East Shelby Fire Department? You know, like, how are you gonna know if their pressure is reduced with no pumps
We
to the
won't
other
know
side of
until
the-
we get going, and we always have the backup of the pumps.
Oh, so there are pumps. I guess I didn't
Yeah,
realize.
we own 3 pumps up at the water tank. It's the same water as the village of Medina.
Okay.
All right, public comments. Stephen Shuan? Shuan.
You're gonna win an election.
Shuan.
Thank you for listening tonight.
Name, please?
Stephen Schuin
Okay.
from West Shelby. It wasn't too long ago where you would drive down the road and you might see one of those big, huge satellite dishes next to a house, and you'd say, oh, that's the house with the satellite dish. And what we were really saying is, oh, that's the satellite dish with a house. And today I was driving over to Lockport, and I was looking at satellite dishes, and I thought, my goodness, this is amazing. In just a few years, they've gone from these big, nasty-looking things to something a guy my size, I'm not the world's biggest man, something I could hold, one of these little satellite dishes. And then I thought about NASA in the 1970s. They had this big, huge computer room. You've probably all seen it. We're all about the same age. And I'm told, and this may be hyperbole, that this is more powerful than that computer at NASA in that big room. I don't know if that's a fact, but you get the point. I think with the windmill, we all saw the balloons. They're really high, and it's awfully close to the village of Medina. And I have yet to meet someone who's in favor of that project going in. And what I'm saying is, I think technology may solve this problem for us if we wait. All parties may actually get what they want. Not now, not today. I'm asking you to vote no at this point, or table it, and then to keep our eye on technology, because we all know that those big screen TVs, when they first came out, you had to get at the right angle to get a good picture, and now we have these ginormous TVs with beautiful, clear pictures. That's technology, and that's what's happening. It's the 21st century. It's moving fast. I've done a little research, and I know that there are wind turbines on the way. And I know that this big company doesn't want us to talk about this, and they've put some pressure on the state of New York. That happens, as we all know. And it may come a time, seriously, I know this sounds like George Jetson, but where we might come down and see Darlene Rich fill out a form and get a little wind turbine to put on our roof, and it'll have the same strength that these big behemoth things that right now, if we put up, I think 25 years from now, we're going to feel like that house with the big, huge, ugly satellite dish next to it. I just don't want to see beautiful Medina. I love this town, and I know we all do here. I'd hate to see us become the house with the satellite dish. Thank you.
Stephen? Barb DeLuzio. I just remind everyone we're on a 3-minute thing here, so.
I deliberately put my name at the bottom of the list because I wanted to hear what other people had to say. But I have to say, Mr. Schuin, I have to say, Mr. Schuin, I do agree with you. I don't disagree with wind energy. I disagree with it in its present form. And I think in the present form that it's developed, the companies are going to make sure that they go up because they've invested money. I think we should be prudent and wait. I think it came to everybody's attention when those balloons went in the air. Oh my God, how high they are. I live within a mile of where they will be. They will be in my front yard. They're twice as high as the tree line, or more. They're within probably a half to a quarter of a mile of nesting grounds for geese. I drive down Martin Road every spring to see the baby geese. I sit on the road. If they're crossing the road, I wait for them. And I'm kind of late. Other people have been here speaking at meetings. I haven't until now. But I have heard overwhelmingly from a lot of my friends and neighbors that they don't want this. So what we're doing, I'm sure you're aware, is we're getting a petition to see how many of members of our community. It doesn't just affect Shelby. It affects the entire village of Medina. So I guess I have a question about if we show overwhelming opposition to this, will it stop the process? Okay, I'll just register the question.
Yeah.
Okay. And my other question is, how will the town benefit from this? I see more negative than I see positive. So overall, I think we all move. I know people who've moved here from, I can name 4 families. One of them opened a business here for our quality of life. I think a lot has been done to build up that quality of life here, and I hope that we do everything we can to preserve it. And I thank you all for your efforts. It's a thankless job, but I appreciate what you do. Thank you.
Good, Barb. John Pratt.
Just a couple of quick comments here. I was out. Some of you people saw me out and around during the observation process of these balloons set up to see where the actual towers would be. And I live over East Shelby way, and I kind of check when I come into town.
Sorry?
Sorry.
When I come into town, I look at which way the wind is blowing by looking at the steam coming out of the ethanol plant. And when the balloons were up, there's a slight breeze from north to south by looking at the ethanol plant. The steam, if we're standing there looking at it, steam's going like this.
Yep.
So therefore, where these balloons were, they have a 633-foot tether on them, And they were pushed a little to the south. So those are going to actually be a touch, can't tell you without a major mathematical equation how actually much closer they're going to be, don't know. But in this, my observation, they're going to be a little closer and a touch higher than they were. But that's all due to Mother Nature. Nothing we could do about that, but that's just an observation. And the other thing, we're talking about, we're big time into this water coming from Heartland. And there's some of the rest of the townspeople have had a question. We've been looking at water for the rest of the townspeople, the people that don't have it. And when we're doing this, last I understood where the process stood, a grant writer by the name of Jeff Smith, if I'm not mistaken, is that who wrote the grant? It was in the hands
I'm
of,
not sure.
it was in the hands, last I understood, it was in the hands of a grant writer to see if we could get money for this project. Well, since then, I believe there was 500 and some million last year, and maybe 325 million this year that the state of New York has up to get for these projects.
Mhm.
So I'm just wondering if we're going to be checking in with, see if we can get some of the money that Hochul's going to be throwing out there for. And these numbers, how much money? 325 this year, that's been just recently out there, so I'm sure of that number. But what there was last year, I'm not quite sure. I say 500. I think it was in that neighborhood, I think. So I'd just like to have the town not only get in one direction, but let's take care of everybody in the town with water. Thank you.
Thank you, John. That was your timer, Barb, that went off. Sorry. Charlene Pratt. Okay. Karen Jones.
Good evening. First of all, thank you, Mr. Wangowitz, for answering my questions that I had emailed you. I appreciate that. And I am glad the town was the one to ask for the balloons. And I hope that if you have that line of communication, you can ask specifically for pictures. I think that the ones that we saw in 2022, was it, in June, that they did not have some of those places I had indicated to you in at the January meeting, like the hospital, the schools, the golf course, tennis court, which I know sounds so superficial, tennis court, golf course, but shadows and shadow flicker is something I think that would matter in those places, but especially the schools. In any case, the thing Barb DeLuzio mentioned, the petition, there are a lot of us who have petitions, and we are collecting them all in one place and logging them so that we can basically give them to Mrs. Rich in alphabetical order, so it's easier to log. I think instead of saying a petition was turned in, it'll be more appropriate to log the names, at least in the official minutes. But in any case, I have 70 of those names, which we gathered with 2 days' notice. We have another meeting this Thursday at Lee Whedon Library for anybody that's interested, same time, 7 o'clock. And again, it's just to give people a chance to at least share with a signature how they feel about this. And as I've said to a lot of people, I don't think the town went looking for this. To my understanding, it was a landowner, and that it was not necessarily the landowner, it was the company who went to him. And then as supervisor, I believe that it's a violation what he did as somebody in an elected position. I mean, what Mr. Pratt just alluded to, Mr. Smith wrote the grant and then is understanding where that money, oh, that's for the water thing, is it? Or? No, it's a different Jeff Smith. Well, that's what a different Jeff Smith. Okay, sorry about that. Mistake on that one. But I think I am correct to say that Mr. Smith, the former supervisor, is the one who wants the wind turbines, yes? And that as supervisor, he is the one who ushered through so many elements of that project. And that is what I believe is a violation of Article 18 of New York General Municipal Law and New York Penal Law 195 of municipal misconduct. And I don't think this board should be part of that. There are members that are brand new to this board and members, a lot of you who have just come on fairly recently who were not part of this. And as for that question, Mr. Wengowitz, you said when the board starts back up again. I hope that the full board has an opportunity to review and hopefully start fresh, because that environmental impact statement was to begin with step one to say it only impacts the 1 mile radius of the farm itself. It's not accurate.
Okay.
Can I just say one more thing? I know
Quick.
my time's up. I'm sorry. You know the town of Florida probably in New York is also dealing with Borrego. They're a little bit further along in their process. Mr. Strong, Dave Strong, who spoke to us in 2022, he spoke to them and he said to them, and I'm quoting directly from their newspaper, there are not many places you can find that have good wind resource, plenty of space away from homes that you can site safely. He indicated all those conditions were met in the town of Florida on a large site where the land is unsuitable for agricultural use. It's my understanding that the property here in Shelby has apple trees and it's being used. Dave Strong, who's the one talking to you about this project and giving you all these fancy flyers, he represents himself differently depending on the town that he's in. And that town, Florida, they found that this project had significant problems environmentally. So when you pick that project back up again, I hope you have all the pieces and they are not just provided to you by the company that wants the project. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Larry Waters.
Good evening. Water seems to be a popular subject. It's to the point now where I don't like getting the water bill. It's just becoming ridiculous. And I'm not exactly sure why, when a conscious effort to use less in the household. I took an average over the past 10 years. Let's just use some fictitious numbers here. Let's say it was $120. It's gone up over 60% in the last 5 cycles, and I don't understand why. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And again, the service charge that remains on this bill, I have yet to get a satisfactory explanation as to what this charge is for, where is it accounted for, where is that money used, is it stored, is it carried over, is it in the general fund? What am I getting for my 25 bucks? It bothers me that the town is making a profit on water. It doesn't seem fair to me that we should be marking up a resource because we're unable to supply it ourselves. It's a little middleman going on there. The town is not a manufacturer and shouldn't profit in such manners. When it comes to water main breaks, who pays for the spilled water? We as in the town. Me?
You're part of it, yes.
So I get.
Not designated to your district. It's all over for everybody.
So if there's a break in District 1, everybody in District 1 gets to share in the amount that's spilled? Spread out across that bill? That water is accounted for, correct?
No. There's no way to know how many gallons was lost. It's impossible. There's no meter.
There's a meter at the tank. Certainly know how much water is flowing out at any given time.
But I can't tell you how much comes out of the leak.
Okay, keep going, Larry. I'll
All right. Received a letter in the mail on the checking for lead pipes, and I understand the importance of that. I guess a couple of questions there. Why wasn't this noted when the new wireless meters were installed? It seems to me that you would know what kind of pipe you're connecting to. and or when the expansion tanks were installed. And let's say it does contain lead, who pays for the remediation? Department of Health, the town, the homeowner? Does fall under that $25 service fee where I'm responsible for the pipe from the house to the road? Anybody have any answers to that question? I didn't think so. Just a couple other things I wanted to mention here real quick. We had a situation where 63 flooded north of Oak Orchard Ridge. The wife and I went through that at a speed that wasn't prudent, came upon it, and just wanted to make the public aware that that section is now flooding where it hasn't flooded in the past.
Where? 63.
North of Oak Orchard Ridge, it usually floods in the middle of the swamp, south. This was north on the east side of the road, came right out to the middle. I did contact Dale. He told me that was New York State DOT. And, they did come out and put out some flashing lights and some signage, which was helpful. The town light bill, I know I keep harping on this, just wondering if we've gotten any recent bills and if they're substantially lower as anticipated.
They haven't received the engineering report from National Grid yet. They're still working on it, so.
Okay.
I don't know if Scott can let us know if the bill's been going down at all. I don't know.
Okay.
But I'll get back to you on that as soon as I get information.
All right, and then the last thing I have on here is workshops. I know we have a town meeting once a month, and to me, there's enough activity going on, we could actually have a meeting every week. It just seems it's a long, expansive time to build up questions and concerns, and you hear, rumors and lots of things being said, and it's tough to fet out what's actually true and what's not. So I'm just wondering again if the town has considered doing some workshops where the public could witness that and be a part of these decisions. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Let's see here. John, we're working on the grants with Jason Foote on the water. The light bill, the last bill we got has not gone down. So I don't know if it hadn't taken effect yet or not. Workshops, we're going to do a minimum of once a quarter. We, I think I announced that last meeting or the meeting before. We just haven't scheduled one yet. So it'll be this quarter. There will be one before the quarter's over. Water leaks, correct me if I'm wrong on this, Dale. If there's a water leak, the town, Medina bills us for that water. The town pays for it. That's part of what your service fee goes for. The town has to eat it because nobody's buying that water. So, as a whole, your service fee goes in for pipe repairs, maintaining our pipes, and if we have to flush lines, the town has to pay for that. Medina doesn't give us a break on it. We pay full price on that water, whether it's a spill in a pipeline or, we have to flush lines. We don't get a discount from Medina. They charge us full rate on that water. So we can go to them and say, hey, we spilled 4 million gallons. Can we have a break? No, you pay full price for that. So that's. With royalty? We're still working on that, yeah. So it's a work in progress. And the talks with Medina is a work in progress also. We just had a meeting last week, and they want proposals on rates, and we're going to come up with proposals on rates and see if they'll accept them. So we can cut everyone's water bill down. Believe me, I know, just for example, my office in Medina, I got 2 toilets in the building, and my water bill's $300 a month. So, yeah, $300 a quarter. I'm sorry, $300 a quarter. It's just incredible. Okay, we're done with comments.
Do you want me to just briefly?
Yes.
respect to the windmill projects, and I definitely appreciate everybody's comments, and I hope that you'll continue to be active and participate as we work through the process. Since there is an application in front of the board will have to go through the process. The board will restart the seeker process. And basically, as you said, everybody on the board is new, so we're going to approach it as if we're starting the project review from square one. But we do have to go through that process, and whatever happens, but we'll go through it. And one of the things that the board, will discuss is bringing on an engineer to help get through that process. So an engineer that represents the town as opposed to just the engineer that represents the applicant. So I'm going to talk to these guys about making that happen as well.
I'd like to make a motion to go to executive session for a personnel matter.
Yeah, is there a second? All in favor?
I got a discussion first before
Okay,
I got a question.
discussion. Go ahead.
Where are we gonna be doing this executive session?
It's gonna be in the conference room. It's gonna be,
I've been told by multiple people in the town that there's audio throughout the whole building. I mean, if we're going to executive session, we shouldn't be being audio taped or anything. So I hope there's no tape going over at executive session.
the only audio-visual camera in this building is at the town clerk's counter.
I'm the special one.
That's the only audio-visual, and we're gonna be on a teleconference with another lawyer, a labor lawyer, in the conference room. I can, if you want, I can arrange for the security people to be here to demonstrate to you. There is, okay. Okay, all in favor? Aye? Aye. All right, and we are moving into an executive session.
Good talk.
9:47 is when we just ended the executive session. Yes. Okay, meeting's over. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's it. Meeting is closed. Thank you.